Look, the almonds are already in full bloom. Did you think that almonds only grow in hot countries? In the south? No, we also have almonds. Oh, what an echo. Russia is the birthplace of almonds. Ah. Moreover, the buds are even brighter than the petals, but it doesn't really smell. It's an amazing thing. Almond is called steppe, but it grows on the mountains. It is a close relative of the peach, bird cherry, or cherry. They are all in the genus Prunus. However, we were warned that the closer to Shaytan-Tau, the more miracles and anomalies we could meet. This side of the Orenburg Reserve is an anomaly. Nowhere else in the Urals will you find broadleaf forests. Well, there are birch forests, aspens, and then there are no broadleaf trees. And then there are oak, elm, and maple. And under the canopy of trees you can see the bright primroses on the glades. These delightful flowers only appear in spring. Here's our breakfast. The spring primrose is its official name, as like primula, as like the keys of St. Peter. So many names Slavic peoples gave to this humble plant. Well, there is such a legend. As if St. Peter dropped the keys from heaven, they fell to the ground, to the grass, sprouted, and became these flowers. By the way, they are even edible. Tasty. You can clean them, like a banana from a skin. But I eat it just like this. Incessant birds' hubbub is around us. We get acquainted with the first feathered neighbors. A redstart is a good name for a bird. Indeed, it is shaking its tail all the time, as if it was burning and she was extinguishing it. They're already loud-voiced chaffinches. They're easy to recognize by a simple song. And here's the blue-throated warbler. By the way, also a nightingale. It has a dandy look, chocolate back, bright blue breast, and even a snow-white spot on the front. The female bird, however, looks much more modest, but is not a solo singer in the spring choir of feathery neighbors. It is just singing in the background, a quiet chirrik, chirrik. Our way lies up to the very heart of Shaytantau, to the place from where all the reserved land is visible, spread before your eyes. The forest is getting much lower, and the tree body curl noticeably. Well, all the same, strong winds and cold fog make them completely unlike the slender trees of the plains. Well, in general, Shaytantau is not such a devilish place. It is beautiful around. My soul sings about such majestic beauty. Until dawn, you could sit in the tent for 2 hours to feed the mosquitoes. Although in the morning, of course, there will be fewer of them. Then, from the top of the mountain, it is very convenient to observe the nests of thrushes down in the trees. Well, and if you're lucky, you'll see black grouses. The tread is already coming to an end, but some belated gentlemen can fly here, of course. Only a black grouse can mate in such cold. I would not be able to. Oh, Alexei, shall we have some tea? With herbs from the mountain. Ah, here you go. Here. Ah, this is real tea. Look. Fieldfare are already sitting on their eggs. They are friendly guys. They settle next to each other, feed together. Together they drive away enemies. Look, there are chicks in one nest already. By the way, fieldfare are close relations with nightingales, redstarts. Well, and other insectivorous birds, as the shape of their beak indicates this. Do you see how long and thin it is? Well, the black grouses appear. We're lucky. From our hiding spot, you can even see the bright red lines of the male. From time to time, one or the other males flies in, sat down on trees, well, and then even descended to the ground, and after a short time they left, vexed by the inattention of ungrateful listeners. Belated mating was interrupted by a sudden thunderstorm. The clouds flew in from nowhere, rumbled, and the weather became completely hopeless, spoiled literally in a matter of minutes. It's really some kind of mysticism. 10 minutes ago, the sun was shining. Here, behind my back, the sky is blue, and suddenly thunderclouds. That's why Shaytan-Tau. Yes, down there in the steppe, things like this do not happen. And suddenly, after another watering of the earth from heaven, everything around was painted in some kind of unnaturally golden light. It came from nowhere, because the sun was still hiding in the clouds. The impression was created that this light was poured out by some unusually bright rainbow, flashing down below the gentle slopes of the Shaytantau foothills. And a rainbow, look, it is so clear, bright. According to an ancient local belief, a rainbow always indicates the place where some great treasures are hidden at its end. Go! I noticed this place. Let's go! Well, of course, we are far from being so naive to go search for some treasure that the old bandits buried in the old days. But we pointed out the place on the map and immediately went to search for it. Although, it turned out that to navigate in the mountains is not so easy to do. It's one thing to look from above, and it's a completely different one to go down there, where you cannot see what's going on around you, and you do not understand where the winding trail leads. It feels like I climbed too high. There's still snow here. Oh! The rainbow showed somewhere over there, to the narrow valley. After the first unsuccessful attempts, I had to correct the route with knowledgeable people. And our old good friend, Deputy Director of the Orenburg Reserve, Andrei Latipov, who knows all about Shaytantau. Andrei has a special attitude to these places. Andrei, I'm looking at the map and see just a little blot of various colors. And in life, it is such a pristine grandeur. So, Shaytantau, Andrei, as far as I understand, is your love from first sight, right?
That's for sure. When I first visited this place, I was shocked by these open spaces.
Andrei, why is it called Shaitan after all? What is this thing it has from the devil? Well, I understand some bizarre snags, some curved trees. Our ancestors were timid. They were just afraid of everything. Maybe the spirits here are kind of some bad thread.
Well, it's more like a fantasy of local people. In fact, there is no devilry here. It is an absolutely peaceful and kind territory.
Well, how? Peaceful, kind, and a character like a capricious beauty. The sun, clouds, lightning with thunder. It literally changes day after day.
This is the charm and interest of this territory. We certainly do not have any mystics. Weather conditions play a greater role here.
Well, the weather conditions won't break off branches and treetops, right?
Well, why? There is a very severe climate and winter here. Constant winds, very snowy winters, frequent thaws happen. All this leads to the fact that all trees, especially up to the mountains, they have completely broken tops.
Indeed, this is another feature of Shaytantau, an absolutely forest landscape, and you constantly see flora and fauna representatives of the steppe around. On the one hand, we met a legless lizard, an anguine lizard, a typical representative of deciduous forests. It is called an anguine, and it is a very delicate creature. It is enough to take it in your hand and accidentally drop it in order to cripple it. and the adder, which we saw on our way. Despite a bad reputation of Devil's Mountain, it was not a steppe one, but an ordinary one. But on the other hand, here you are, a typical example. This golden-haired handsome would be much more appropriate for the bare steppe, but not in the shady, wet underbrush. Friedrich August Marshall von Bieberstein. Greetings, colleague. In honor of this outstanding botanist, geographer, and traveler, named the tulip Bieberstein. And in Russia, he was called simply Fyodor Karlovich. For most of his life, Bieberstein worked and lived in Russia. But here, in the forests of Shaytan-Tau, the tulip of Bieberstein looks quite different. There in the steppe, the petals unfold fully, and the flower spike is short. And here, the long flower spoon elegantly bends under the weight of a flower combined with a turtle. So, this tulip is revealed not completely, like most of the garden varieties. We walked along the wooded and bushy slopes. We compared our route with a map where a rainbow dot was marked, but noticed that we constantly got lost. Maybe this is another sorcerous feature of Shaytan-Tau. For some reason, I really wanted to find this place, where the rainbow pointed out to us, because intuition prompted that there certainly would be surprises there. Shaytan-Tau loves to play tricks with its guests, but sometimes it likes to give presents to attentive and polite people. But it's getting dark. I finally lost my way and decided to spend the night right here. I barely dodged to a spacious clearing and spread my sleeping bag right on the dewy grass already in the darkness. Could I have known that in the darkness I lay down exactly on the very spot where the left end of the multicolored beam of the rainbow fell? The very one which we had seen from the top of the distant mountain. Am I still asleep? Terrific! How did I not notice this at night when I went to bed? Look how many pasque flowers are here. It's dream grass. That's why I slept well. Beautiful! Ah, what a view around! Beautiful! In folk legends, the rock lily is endowed with yet another great power: to predict the future. They say it's enough to put it under a pillow, as a prophetic dream will immediately come to your mind. And if the wishes you wish are bright and kind, then they will certainly come true. We constantly came across curtains of pasque flowers, but we did not yet see such glades full of flowers. An amazing, grand spectacle, which you can enjoy only in the short spring period. So finally, we were on the patch, which was at the foot of the rainbow. This is what we had been looking for. We saw a rainbow from that hill yesterday, but I just realized that it was not standing still. It moved along a hilly ridge, as if it really showed us the way to a priceless treasure of generous nature. And here, that in comparison with it, well, any there paper notes, actions, yes, even gold coins. Here it is. Here it is. Our precious treasure, real treasure, which is enough for everyone.